Evening, welcome to the Derby debrief from RamsTV. I'm Bradley with former Derby captain Shaun alongside, here to react to Derby's victory this afternoon over Burton Albion. It takes Derby back into the League One playoff places with just 2 games remaining. Still looks like it's going to go right down to the wire. David McGoldrick was the match winner for the Rams again today. You'll hear reaction from his head coach Paul Warne, teammate Conor Hourihane as well shortly. We kick off with a word from Barks as always. Not a classic local derby perhaps. Derby maybe should have won by more, but win's a win, right?
It is, especially this time of the season. I thought Burton started the game really well. The first 10-15 minutes, they put us under pressure, they got balls into the box, they had that glorious chance which hit the post, and that was the little bit of a wake-up call to the lads out there on the pitch. They knew that they had to be better, they had to start playing the football that we know they can play, and for long spells that they dominated. They had more opportunities, probably should have made it a little bit easier, but while it was at 1-0, the last 15 minutes Burton made a few changes, brought some players on, and we had to dig deep. So not the most entertaining game, but definitely one that's kind of so important towards the tail end of the season. Yeah,
I know at this stage of the campaign you hear more and more that look, performance doesn't really matter, it's all about the result. But was the performance another step in the right direction as well today?
It was for me, and for similar reasons that we saw against Exeter. We had moments of brilliance, especially kind of moving forward up the pitch. I really like Mendez-Laing playing alongside McGoldrick, and with Sibley, I think the three of them combine really well, especially Mendez-Laing and McGoldrick. They seem to know where each other is, and they're always looking to play 1-2s with each other, find each other in the box. That's been a real plus over the last 2 games. And also having to dig in, having to defend the box. In the last 10-15 minutes, we had to do that at times. There was a wonderful challenge from Erin Casher when it looked like Walker got the wrong side of him. The chance with Barcase at the end was a brilliant header from Curtis Davies. So there was moments in the whole game which were really pleasing, and when we're hitting the last 2 games of the season in form.
More to come from Shaun. Let's get you some reaction from the dressing room though. Here's Derby's head coach Paul Warne on today's win.
Yeah, against a really good Burton team. Dino's got them well organised and hard to break down, and we warned the lads of second phases and throw-ins and set pieces and all that, and we sort of give them a chance first half from our own ineptitude, really, mistake. But apart from that, I thought we controlled the game really well. I thought we had majority of the ball, created a lot of chances. The 2 10s caused problems. Didsey was as always sort of unplayable at times, and everyone contributed well. I thought Birdie and Conor gave us a real balance, and we kept trying to play forward and ask questions. It was just about, said to the lads at half time that I was really pleased with the first half. It was just about the goal, and don't panic if it's not in the first 5 or 10 minutes. Just keep playing and chances will come. And the longer the game went on, the more chances we created, and in the end we come away with a win on a penalty. But I don't think many people could have left the ground today and not thought we would deserve the win. So yeah, really pleased. A lot of good things, no injuries, a bit of a break now before the next home game. The place was bouncing. It felt like a playoff game at times. I thought the atmosphere in the stadium was really good, and it ended up, in my opinion, a really good performance from the boys.
Are you able to watch the penalty, or do you have to look away when Didsey steps up?
No, I'm all right watching the penalty, although I did. It's amazing what goes through your head as a manager. I was thinking, I remember when it was only last week when Arteta stood there and watched his player miss the target, and I don't know, because I was watching Arsenal last night possibly, I'm thinking, please go in, and you get a bit wishy. So so it's good. Like I said, I thought our play deserved a lot more, and we were always so close. But what pleased me as much as our on the ball stuff was, when we had to roll our sleeves up and defend, throw-ins, set pieces. I thought the lads were pretty good and limited them to like 1 header over the bar from 7 yards out second half. So yeah, generally speaking, I thought the lads, well, not generally speaking, the lads were excellent. So I'm really, really proud of them.
Some really great moments of attacking play today, and there seems to be some real chemistry between the front 3 in particular. Is that something that you've spotted and worked on?
Well, we're just trying to ask defenders different questions, and with the 10s, who are both really good footballers, it's difficult being we've played against teams with 2 10s. It is awkward, and we just needed to find something different to give ourselves a chance. And it's no disrespect to other players who aren't playing, but it just felt like it would work. We wanted to try and get Sibs a bit higher up the pitch, And obviously with Nat, we give him less defensive responsibilities, although I think he's covered his greatest distance today, it seemed like. So all in all, yeah, good, but you need the players to give the ball to the 210s, and it was Cash and Foz and Curtis passing through the lines, which enabled us to get at them. So really good. And the thing was, it felt like every time we counter-attacked, it was a problem for them, truth be told. However, when they get everyone behind the ball, any team's difficult to break down. So it's just about trying to move the ball quick and being positive. And, you know, if you lose it in the final third, so be it. But, yeah, I can go home tonight really pleased. And the league table looks a bit nicer for us.
You mentioned it. You're back in the top 6. It's back in your hands. How important is that?
Well, very important. I saw the score at half time. I won't pretend I didn't. And I'm thinking, like, you know, even if we draw this, it's a point. If, you know, Peterborough don't pick up Max, and even if they lose, we're a point closer. That feels like a wasted opportunity, but I can't ask any more. We can only drive performances, whether the ball goes in the net or not. You can't always tell. So the fact you get a win and the people you're chasing, you know, one of them hasn't won it, you know, but it's about the next game straight away. So as you know me quite well, I'll have about 3 minutes enjoying it, and then I'll start watching Pompey and seeing what we're going to do there. So yeah, really good day. Been kind with the results, but it's just going to be up and down between now and then. Portsmouth at home, Sheffield Wednesday away isn't exactly the easiest of ends to a season, but if you've got to be successful, you have to beat these teams, and if we don't, then there's no point being in the playoffs, because we won't be good enough to beat anyone in the playoffs. So it's about, you know, giving the lads a bit of downtime and then going again.
That's Derby head coach Paul Warne. More reaction to come from the dressing room. Talking to him about it there, Shaun, we are at that time of the season where every goal that goes in can change the picture significantly. I'll ask you what I asked him. How important is it that Derby have it back in their own hands with 2 games to go?
Well, it's huge. I think more so because of the last 6 to 8 weeks where we've let it go. We've let it slip and we haven't got ourselves in the top 6. We looked really comfortable at one stage in the playoffs. Looked like we were stretching to get into the top 2. That's not happened because of form and because of consistency over the last 6-8 weeks. And sometimes going out of the top 6 and realising that you've got work to do, and there's serious work to do. There's other teams that are putting you under pressure that are hitting the end of the season in better form. And the last 3 or 4 weeks, we've kind of regained that confidence, that belief. We're playing with a little bit more freedom and looking more like the team we were a few months ago. So real plus. It's up to Peterborough now to try and chase us. We can only deal with our results and our performances, and there's 2 left.
Derby have been on the end of some questionable penalty decisions this season, and particularly in recent weeks. They win a penalty today. I don't think there's any question about it, despite what Dino Marmaria, the Burton Albion coach, has said after the game. I think he said it was never a penalty. I think we probably both agree it was.
Yeah, it's completely different being in the emotion down pitch side. I don't know if he's seen it again. How clear-cut the touch is kind of is irrelevant. As soon as Powley's had that touch and he's going away from goal, Birdie anticipates that touch so well, gets ahead of him, and as soon as you stick a leg out, how much contact, there's a little, may not be loads, but it's a penalty, and it's a silly penalty to give away. And we've seen times this season where I feel it's either a penalty or not, and everyone has a different opinion. You can watch it twice over, 3 times over, the manager at the side have a different opinion. For me, as soon as you stick your leg out, you run that risk. The referee, I thought, was spot on. It was a penalty, and obviously Disley did the rest. Yeah,
and McGoldrick, man of the match again today, but not just because he converts the penalty. I mean, once again, he is the man that makes Derby tick.
He is, and he didn't even have to look at the ball to convert the penalty as well. He's that classy. I didn't spot it first time round, but he's got his eyes on the goalkeeper. Doesn't even need to look at the ball. He knows exactly what he's doing. But he just has moments of magic in the game. There's moments where he can play it easier and he can play a simple pass, and he maybe forces something that's not there. But he's always looking to be creative and do something different to everyone else in the pitch. And one of the pleasing things, I think, over the last couple of games is the change in formation, the different responsibility for Mendes-Lang and Sibbs playing behind McGoldrick, offering legs, offering runners in behind, just allows him to play that game that he wants to play, which is kind of spontaneous and kind of how he feels in that moment. And they've formed a nice little link, the 3 of them, especially Mendes-Lang finding McGoldrick at times. So it leaves a little bit more responsibility with 2 midfielders. I want to mention them, Hourihane and Bird. I thought they were excellent. Sometimes you can get overrun with 2 midfielders against 3, which we saw in the last couple of games. So all in all, nice balance. Attacking, especially the counter-attack's been excellent, and we've defended when we've had to. So a really positive performance for a positive week.
Derby didn't need the second goal today, as they did on Tuesday at Exeter, but they created lots of chances again. Is that going to be the thing to work on from Paul Warne's point of view? We have to be more clinical if we want to have success, touch wood, in the playoffs. Well,
it was actually Dizzy that missed a couple of really good chances. He could have had a hat-trick this afternoon. Barkhuizen obviously had a good chance. I think Sibs and Mendes-Lang had opportunities too. So my only concern is we rely on McGoldrick so much. If you think how many goals he scored, how much he influenced the team, if you're going into the playoffs or trying to get in the playoffs, you have to have players that are going to score all over the pitch, and we just need someone else to start contributing. It can be last minute, it can be centre halves, it could be Cash in Fozzie, it could be the wide players. It doesn't matter. Someone has to help him, so that if it's not him firing, which there might be times from in the next couple of games, or if we get to the playoffs, it might not be on it every week. So who's going to step up in that situation? There was chances to win it 2 or 3 quite comfortably. It wasn't to be, but we still showed that resilience at 1-0.
And a win and a clean sheet, it might not have been. Burton started very well, hit the post, and that, as you said, seemed to sort of bring Derby to life. But it was a bright start from them.
It was, and we knew what they were going to be about. They put the ball forward quickly, long throws, set pieces, second balls. That's what they do to make it difficult for teams. And they've had a few times this season away from home they've struggled, and at home they're obviously very dominant at the Pirelli at times. So we knew it was going to be a fast start from them. I don't think Derby saw the attack in the third in the first 10 minutes or so, and it was that chance from Oshilaja that really just galvanised the team and made them wake up, because at that point they were second best. For long periods after that, Derby were a much better team, and also we had to dig in the last 15 minutes. He changed the front three. They were a bit more aggressive, a little bit more kind of front-footed, which made it difficult for Derby. So, again, an all-round performance. Individual performances were good. Collectively, we were good, and we got the job done, which is all that matters.
And let's get some more reaction from the Derby dressing room. We can hear from Conor Hourihane.
Yeah, I think so. I think we should have had maybe one in the first half at least. Definitely a couple more in the second half. But you know, they're tight games. Yeah, you have to take your chances when they come, and obviously penalty. Didzy scores them, 9-10 times out of 10, really, doesn't he? So that was never in doubt. So yeah, look, 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, however they come at the minute, it's just important to get 3 points.
You said it there. Was there any doubt when David McGoldrick steps up? He's just in such incredible form.
Yeah, no, never ever. I said to him after he scored, that was never in doubt. The exact words that I said to him. So no, look, like I said, cool, calm, collective. No pressure for Dizzy. So yeah, massive goal.
You're quite a cerebral player, as he is. How much do you enjoy playing with a guy like that?
Oh yeah, amazing. Yeah, it's when you got good players around you. There's many in this team. It makes your job a lot easier. Like you said, a lot of lads now with the results that we've had are playing with a little bit more confidence, which makes us play a little bit better, which makes everyone else around each other look a little bit better. So yeah, we're heading in the right direction at a good time. Yeah, and you talked about the buzz. Sort of feel like it's coming back. The chemistry seems to be back. Certainly going forward, there were some really nice attacking plays today. Yeah, definitely. A little bit of a change up of position for Mendes and Sibs has kind of given us a different dimension moving forward. They get into good areas, they both drive with the ball in good areas and commit people and stuff like that. So yeah, that little bit of a tweak has added a little bit to us, because sometimes in recent games we struggled for goals and killing games off and whatever, and giving the opposition a chance, and they might have nicked one like Bristol Rovers or whatever. So yeah, it's just coming together nicely. I don't know how much you look at results from elsewhere and look at the table as soon as you come in, but you are back into the top 6 and it is back in your hands now. How important is that for you? Yeah, it's massive, of course. You want to get in there. Look, we want to be in there in 2 games' time. Obviously, look, you can't get away from it. Everyone goes on about in the dressing room straight away who wins, who loses and all that. Everyone does. I won't lie about it. So, no, it's great. Like I said, it's a couple of games to go, back-to-back wins, and there'll be a great atmosphere, no doubt, next week in our last home game against Portsmouth, and hopefully we'll get the result everyone wants.
That's Conor Hourihane. Here are the results from League One this afternoon. Win for Barnsley. They are still in the race for the automatic promotion places, but it's looking like playoffs for them, really. Bolton did what they needed to do. Second half goal saw them beat Shrewsbury to climb to 5th in the table. Massive win for Morecambe. came from behind to win 3-2 at Charlton. Cheltenham piled on the misery for Forest Green, already relegated, of course. Fleetwood beat MK Dons. Ipswich won at Peterborough. Ipswich have now won 11 of their last 12 games. It's an absolutely incredible run, and that's a result that does Derby a favour as well, as of course. More on that in a moment. Victory for Plymouth, who stay top of the table. Port Vale with a win, Portsmouth with a win, but they are now out of the running for a playoff place. Lincoln helped Derby out, winning at Wickham, and Sheffield Wednesday came from behind to stay in the race for a top 2 finish. This is the table then. Plymouth top, a point ahead of Ipswich, who are a point ahead of Sheffield Wednesday, but remember that the Owls have played a game more than the other sides in the top 5 actually, with Bolton, and that's why Bolton will have the opportunity to really strengthen their hold on a playoff place in the week. Derby go back into the top 6 at Peterborough's expense. The gap 2 points, Derby with a better goal difference as well. It could all be settled for the Rams next weekend. At the other end, Burton slip a couple of places in the table. Morecambe do themselves the world of good in their fight to try and get out of the relegation zone, but that looks like it might go down to the final day yet. And that's all from us for now. If you want more reaction to today's game, it'll be on the website for you, dcfc.co.uk. We're back next weekend. Until then, bye-bye.